have some pretty interesting decisions to make in my life. And this episode of the podcast, I'm literally just going to talk the talk. I'm just going to say what comes to mind and just speak it out. Say my truth. Talk about what's real. Talk about what's honest, what's going on in my life right now. Honestly, it's just truly because I'm very tired, beyond belief, beyond anything you can ever imagine. And well, honestly, I don't have another idea as of right now as to what I can talk about, because obviously I'd like to talk about like good concepts and stuff, deep topics, but I don't really have any specific ideas today, and I don't really have the time to spend like an hour theory crafting and coming up with stuff. So I'm just here, and I'm just talking my talk. I'm just gonna, say what's real, say what's happening in my life right now. So I have a big decision to make. I'm here, and I'm thinking about my job. Right? I'm thinking about the work I'm going through. I'm thinking about the difficulties that it's brought me and the difficult times. I'm not gonna get so deep into it. Like I'm just basically very down, very miserable, very negative in recent times. And I'm thinking about these things, and I'm like, am I gonna quit just because things get hard? Am I going to, is it going to affect me in the rest of my life, right? Is like I'm gonna have this mentality here in this thing. So when I have something else that's even more important, because this job, I'm gonna leave this job eventually at some point. This is not like the job of my career, obviously not. If this was my career, it'd be a very sad life. But and I think back to all the episodes I've made on this show, talking about a lot of these things, talking about earlier concepts, the difficult, like the struggle, the suffering, the going through difficult things is where you find the joy. Like I know these things, right? I know it, but I'm here like in the moment of misery, where like basically every day sucks, basically, and it's like every day I'm just sitting there like, why? Why am I still doing this? Why am I still suffering this? There's no point to this, and well, I'm just here trying to make a decision, right? What am I gonna do going forward? How I can move forward in my life to do better, to try and get myself on a better path. Because this job is not gonna help me find myself, right? Like I'm still trying to struggle to find where I want to go. If I want to continue with football, I'm gonna be like if I want to go to school, whatever is gonna happen, right? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out, and this job is literally nothing more than a stopgap. It's not really helping me figure it out. It's really just making my days tiring, because obviously sleep less. I have to wake up super early, albeit only 3 days a week. That's okay, but even on the other days, like my sleep schedule is just messed up. So basically, it's just a drag, right? The days leading up to it, I'm thinking about how bad the next day is going to be, and then the actual day of the job happens, and I'm just tired and drained, and that's what today was about, and that's what this whole week has really been about. So I'm just gonna be straight talking about it, because this is what I'm going through in my life right now, and I'm going through a period that I've gone through in some capacity, but really it's my first time in my life experiencing these feelings, experiencing the real, true like misery, like figuring out. And I've said at times, like figuring out that like, oh, wow, like maybe the Matrix is real, because you work a minimum wage job, you get treated like crap, and you look at your paycheck, it's nothing, it's not enough to sustain yourself, and you're just expected to keep going, be perfect, be professional, and you're expected to just go and not complain about it. Like maybe, like I think I look at that, and that's kind of what's happening, and I'm like, like maybe this is real, and I'm convinced that this cannot be the only way, because well, like I can only like I can hardly imagine like where I'm at mentally right now, and then just spread that along the course of decades. That'd be a terrible life. Everything I've talked about on this show would just be thrown in the bin if I were to do that. Because it's like, that's literally the exact mediocrity, misery, miserable life that I'm trying to avoid. And that through talking about my ideas and talking about these things, I hope I'm trying to get you to try and avoid as well. Like, it is in that just you're doing something you hate and you're doing it every day. Like, we're assuming that it goes across like multiple years, and it's like, it's not going to be a part-time job anymore. It's going to be a full-time job. This is just hypothetical. That's a bad life. It's not a life where there's any growth, where there's any fulfillment. And that's not what I want. I have the mantra, live your life with as low regrets as possible. And I'm thinking about what I would probably regret the most out of the decisions that like I have in front of me right now, what I'm going to be doing with my life going forward. And I think I have a small idea, but I still I still have to think about it. There's a fine line between overthinking, you're just so caught up in your thoughts that your thought paralysis, you can't move, and like you end up just wasting time. I had a little bit of that pretty much throughout the time I've been working because of all of the situations that have happened that have just kind of made me angry, made me puzzled, made me confused, made me question a bunch of things. But also thinking and reflect, like having the time to have a deep, honest, real reflection about something is important, because I think if not for me constantly thinking about certain situations in my life, I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't be I wouldn't kind of be in the place that I'm in now. Like a couple weeks ago it was way worse. Today is a terrible day. Like I feel very bad. But I got to try my best to keep a positive mental attitude throughout it all. But I'm just thinking, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, like there's this decision that's definitely going to make me end up with regrets. And there's this decision that actually, now that I think about it and I've had time to think about it, this actually makes the most sense. And I think there's a world where we can actually have, everyone has the best of both worlds. Like everyone can win in the end. Everyone can be blessed in the end. And it might not happen because, God works in mysterious ways. Whatever God's plan for my life is, it's truly what it is. And well, the more I pray about it, it's like the more I start to see the pain because God is teaching me many lessons. And it's kind of up to me to find them within all of the misery, within all the negative feelings. And yeah, the only thing that I'm kind of questioning is like, do I want to be that person that just quits when it gets hard? How is this going to affect me in the rest of my life? Like, I know this job, I'm going to leave the job anyway, and it's like, it's not going to be a long-term thing, and it's going to be something that I probably forget about in a few years, regardless of what happens. Like, it probably won't affect me in my life, but it's a mental thing. Am I going to be able to live with myself if I know that I'm that type of a person? And also, is this going to translate to other aspects of my life, this type of a mentality? When things get hard, you just quit because you'd rather not. You'd rather enjoy your time, right? I have to really think about the truth in that. I have to really think about what I'm going through and how it affects me. I've heard from many different people. Like I'm very lucky. I'm very fortunate to have a lot of different people in my life, a lot of different perspectives on this thing, because I've been pretty open in terms of the situations I'm dealing with and my personal distaste for my job. So I'm very lucky to have people on both sides of the aisle. Kind of some people saying, yeah, it's better for you to just kind of leave it, and other people saying, no, it's better for you to ride it out. I'm still trying to weigh those options. I'm lucky to have both perspectives, but you kind of have to sit there and reflect and kind of come to a logical conclusion rather than letting emotion take control. You don't want to have like the thought paralysis, because then you're just wasting a lot of your time just thinking and reminiscing and sitting in a feeling that perhaps you don't want to be sitting in, because for me that feeling is the bitterness, the kind of misery, the depression that it brings. And I'm being like a little bit over dramatic because I probably am just being over dramatic. I just have to smarten up, but I can't really change the feeling I'm feeling. And what I know is that depression, like I don't believe that you can just be depressed like clinically. I think the thing is, it's like if you're depressed, that means something is happening to make you depressed. It cannot be like you're just sitting there. Maybe you're depressed because you're not doing anything. Maybe you're depressed because you're doing too much. Maybe you're depressed because you're not doing what you want. You're not feeling fulfilled. You're feeling miserable. So then the only way to change it is by changing your circumstances, by adding good things into your life or taking away the bad things from your life. Like do the things you love more often. That could be like a good cure for depression, maybe more so than just taking pills. I don't know. I'm just spitballing, just saying my thing. I could be wrong, but that's kind of been my experience. I'm in a moment where I'm feeling pretty depressed most times, but I always stay faithful. Like the feeling doesn't change, but I stay faithful to God. I know that He'll bring me out of it. I know that something will happen, and I'm going to continue to pray on it. But at the same time, I know that if I make a necessary change, then my feelings and my state will shift. It takes the change. Is the change just me ditching everything and going about a specific plan that I kind of slowly am starting to formulate in my mind? Or is it about writing it out, but then making the rest of my days better? I don't know, and I still have to continue to think about it. That's why I'm kind of rambling on this show, because I guess these are just problems that a lot of people have. I think it's raw and it's real. A lot of people hate their job. A lot of people would rather have a different job. A lot of people would rather just have some time to relax, some time to breathe. Some people just feel like they're being squished. Some people feel like they have no space to breathe. They have no respite. There's no rest from the sorrows, from the misery. And well, I just say I get it, man. I'm starting to understand these perspectives. I'm starting to feel it, and I've said it way too many times already on this show. But the point is that like these are the things I'm dealing with. I think it's raw, it's real. I just don't really have that much to talk about right now on the show because I'm so kind of just focused on these thoughts that I'm dealing with, the experiences that I'm dealing with, the bad moments, the pain that I'm going through. It's all mental. It's all mental. There's nothing really physical anymore. I had like the back pains that I was dealing with, but there's nothing physical anymore. It is truly just like a mental battle, and it's the drainage. Like my eyes are literally like my eyes are burning. I'm very tired. I want to take a nap, but I want to record the episode first before I take a nap because I have other things I'm going to be doing with friends later today. And it's like sometimes it's just like you just look at everything and it's like, well, then how the hell are you supposed to balance it all out? It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take trial and error. It's gonna take jumping, falling, failing. And maybe this job is an example of that. Maybe like again, maybe it is truly all me. Like maybe if I were to just keep writing it out, things would smooth out. Or maybe quitting is the right decision because then it will allow me to be more at peace. I don't know what the answer is yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I'm lucky I have different perspectives. I'm lucky that I have just some outlet to kind of vent my frustrations a little bit in the show, in the people that I talk to. But yeah, if I were to be completely honest, I'm not in the best state right now. I started this show last year. I've gone through many different states, even just in a small 6-month period. It's been a pretty chaotic winter for me, and now finally, hopefully, the weather's getting better and the winter's now ending. At least in Toronto. In other places, they're not so lucky, but hopefully soon the winter is ending, and I can then be a little more positive, just enjoy the sunlight, just enjoy the summer, and have a good time, and slowly bring myself out of these tough feelings through making great memories and great experiences happen. So I sit here and it's been a chaotic winter, and this is just yet another moment, but it's probably the moment where I felt the worst. I'm going to be honest. It's probably the moment where I have felt just the way I felt, the way things have been going, maybe the most hopeless, right? I think I still have faith. My faith is strong, but it doesn't take away from the feelings I'm going through, the experiences I'm going through, and they make me feel bad. I have hope through Jesus Christ, and I know that always gives me peace, and there's always a level of peace you have from that knowledge that He Himself, God has already given us the victory. No matter what happens in my life, Jesus will be there. He'll help me. He'll guide me. Whether I quit and whether I don't quit, I know that God will still guide me. He'll still help teach me things and give me lessons. But I'm just thinking about my future, and I think really the thing holding me back is it's like, do I want to be that type of person that just quits? Do I want to be that type of person that just stops when things are hard? Or is there a world where actually, like, you know what, it's probably better to quit? I don't know, man. I'm just venting, I'm ranting, I'm rambling on. This is what I'm going through, and I think it serves you guys to have an episode like this once in a while. I guess they're becoming more common now, but you can have an episode once in a while like this because at least it's giving you some insights as to what I'm dealing with, the realness of life, the realness of what it's like to have a job. Like, there are memes online about job, about employment, where they censor the word or they get scared, jump scares a job application, like, ooh. Like, they're the, brain rot memes, and it's like degen culture memes. You need a job. Like, to work is good. Like, there's an experience there, and I'm learning a lot. Like, the question is, it's like, is there more to learn? Or have I already pretty much gotten the gist of it? And it's like, if I quit, I will definitely just go full guns blazing in terms of these specific things I learned. Like, that'll probably be the most entertaining episode, a part of as of like during this saga of my life, this gauntlet, as I've been calling it, of just suck, just pain, just bad mentality, really, whatever you want to call it. And on the other side of it, there'll probably be an episode where I go through the things that I learned, the specifics of what happened. But I'm going to keep that under wraps because of the fact that well, I'm still working, right? I still want to show a level of respect to these people, even if, some of them don't necessarily merit it at times. But I want to show a level of respect. I want to show a level of grace, not only because that's what God calls me to do, but it's because it's just professional. It's a work environment. And when it's done and when it's over, whenever that day may come, whether it's next week or if it's a few months down the line, whatever I decide to do going forward, whatever happens, I will tell you guys about it. And I will make a very good, probably very entertaining video talking about what I learned from it and why it's probably very important to get a job. Because you'll learn these things. And, not only am I learning about the Matrix, and I'm learning about how it kind of really works, and that depressing feeling that it can give you, but there are also many other more practical, like, life-building lessons that are more important for life that I've already learned. How much more can I learn? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm gonna keep weighing these out. Perhaps in a week I'll update you guys with the situation going on. But that's what's up. That's what I got going on. That's me just talking my talk. Like, this is just what's on my mind right now. I trust in God. I believe in Him. My faith never wanes. I'm always praying. I'm always repenting for my sins because I know I'm not perfect. I know I fall short so many times. And I'm always praying on these things because I know that if God has a plan for me, and if the plan is for me to stay, even if I don't want to, I don't want to go against Him. But then again, like, that's why I pray on it, because I don't know, right? I don't know what the plan is. If I were to do what I want, I probably would have quit a couple weeks ago. But I've continued to ride it out. I've continued to just be strong in very, 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 very tough moments. The moments of temptation when it was super easy for me to just rage and quit and destroy all the bridges. I kept myself cool. I kept myself calm. And now I'm here still thinking about it, but thinking about how I can make these situations happen with more grace, with more calmness, and instead of taking everything so personally, to just allow myself to go with it, go with the flow, just do what you need to do and not worry too much about it. I think too much sometimes. And I guess, maybe that's good criteria for having a show where you talk on the internet. It's probably a prerequisite that you are good at thinking, that you do a lot of thinking. And I really do a lot of thinking. And sometimes it's to my detriment, but other times, as earlier today, where I was reflecting on these situations and came up with a couple of better ideas and solutions for what to do going forward, sometimes it can work out very well. Like, I believe God reveals many things to you if you truly give it to Him. And it can be in those types of reflections, deep reflections, thinking about your situations. But also sometimes I think too much. And sometimes thinking just goes too far. Sometimes you just have to respond to thinking with just immediate action, immediate, clear-cut action without any hesitation. You hesitate, you're just risking that you sit on the couch and you start, you go like this and you start just thinking about life. And then you just fall into that paralysis, which, again, last couple weeks I've fallen into way too much. So honestly, I think that is all I gotta say for today. I'm going through things. I don't really want your pity. I'm just doing this because it's my show, and I think being vulnerable can maybe help you guys in some way. I don't need your pity because I know that there are many, many other people going through way, way worse things in their lives. I am very conscious of that fact, that my problems are nothing in comparison to so many other people's problems. The people going through war right now in the Middle East, for example, I think about that, and I'm like, okay, what's like a bad job that I have, right? That's really affecting me so bad that like these guys are literally losing their families, losing their lives, and I'm complaining because of a job. Of course, I know at times it's very silly when you look at it from that perspective. So I don't need your pity. I'm saying this because I think perhaps it's something that can serve you, that can help you understand the way the world works in some capacity, and it can help you understand that yes, a job is a good thing. Not necessarily because of the experience, it'll be hard, it'll suck no matter what, but because of the lesson you'll learn. And that's the whole point, is that through the pain is great lessons. Through the pain, God reveals many amazing things in you. Not through the good times. It's through the tough times that really you get shaped and molded into whatever you're meant to be in your life. But you got to allow it. You got to invite God in. You got to accept those difficulties. And in the moment of those tough emotions, it's so hard to grab it and throw it away and not let it affect you. I find that it affects me too much, and I still have to do better. Maybe I'm better than I used to be, but I have to do a little bit better still, because I'm still just thinking here and just reflecting, and there's a lot to think about, man. There's a lot to think about. So that is all I gotta say for today. Whatever you're dealing with, whether it's a job issue, school issue, things that are a bit smaller, or if you're dealing with more difficult things, bigger things, I'll be praying for you. I'll be praying for you every night, and I know you'll get through it, just as I truly believe that I'll get through these things. And I hope that me talking about these things can give you maybe some insight into who I am, into my life, that can make things a little interesting and entertaining, and that you guys can also take good lessons from it for your lives. That if you ever do get a job, if you haven't gotten a job yet, you should expect that things will be pretty tough. I think that is a good, solid way to put it, as simply as I possibly can. That is all I gotta say for today. As much as I fail, as much as I'm not perfect, as much as even on this show I've said many things that probably go against God, and go against my mission, which is to glorify God in all that I do, I try my best, man, and I'm doing better. I'm doing better, way better than I used to be. I have a little bit of a grasp on things way more than I used to be, but I really got to get out of this negativity, this misery, And that's just about what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on the wrong things right now. I have to learn to focus on better things and then make the corresponding decision as to what I do with regards to my future. That's going to be me. Obviously, you're going through other things as well. I'll be there for you. I'm praying for you. But actually, what one of my coworkers told me with regards to this situation, which perhaps I'm gonna share it to you because it's something, that was very comforting for me. He was like, "Listen, I believe, man, that whatever decision you'll make is the best one for you." And I think that is really true. Whatever decision you make that you're dealing with in your life, it will be the best one for you. Just have confidence in yourself, your ability to make that decision, confidence in God that you're moving in the right direction. And regardless of what the decision will be, God will use it as fuel to teach you something, as fuel to give you prosperity, whatever the thing may be in that moment that God sees fit for your life. But truly, whatever the decision you make, I'm confident that it will be the right one. And just as my coworker kind of comforted me in that way, and I really appreciate him for it. At the same time, I'm very confident that whatever decision I make, it will work out. Right? It will all work out in the end. The tough times you're going through, you will forget about them in a few months, few years. You won't even think about them. It's just hard in the moment. I get it. I understand it because I'm going through a lot of it myself. And it could be sounding a little bit just false. It could be sounding a little bit over dramatic. But when I eventually quit and I tell you about some of the situations that happened, maybe a little bit more specifically, maybe you can start to get why I'm starting to feel miserable, right? So, but maybe not. Maybe it's all just in my head. It could be the case as well. Again, these are things I have to battle, things I got to deal with. But again, I truly believe that the decision you make will be the right one in the end. So let that kind of sit with you. Let that be with you. Let that be your kind of comforting spirit when you're in that moment where you have to make a big decision in your life, when you're under a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, and you gotta make that decision. Just know that whatever decision you make, have confidence in it, and it will probably end up being the right one. So thank you for watching this episode of the 365 podcast. Again, forgive me for being a little ranty, I'm just basically venting my frustrations with my life right now. But I trust that I'll be able to get out of it. I've had so many episodes where I would be super positive, super happy, talking about positivity and love, and obviously God's love and all of that stuff. And then I have the episodes where I'm talking about my misery and my problems, right? I hope that it's a combination that at least makes you guys understand me better, that it makes my story more raw and real, and it makes this whole journey of the 365 days more raw and real. You get to truly be a part of the highs and the lows, and right now we're kind of in the lows, but hopefully soon we'll be back to the highs. So that's all I gotta say. I think that's all I gotta say. Stay continuing in faith, continue to glorify God in all that you do, and pray on those things you're dealing with. And truly, God will work many amazing gifts in your life every single day. You just need to invite Him in. It's not going to take away from the tough feeling, but it might give you some way to help and some way to find the answers in some way, some capacity. I found that it's helped me. I found that it really has helped me stay on some level of a path, some level of sanity during times where it would be very easy to just sink into misery and despair permanently. But I will not, as long as I live, I will not let that happen to myself. That's all I got to say for today, man. That's all I got. Truly, I'm going to end this off right now. Show your support in any way that you can. Like the video, subscribe on YouTube, and follow the show on Spotify if you haven't yet. Thank you for being here. As always, I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of the 365 podcast.